Hello, all you
Hello.
spacers out there. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Safe Space. This is a tabletop role-playing show of science fiction, mystery and horror, utilising the Mothership tabletop system. My name is Vince Hunt, and I am the Game Master / Warden for this particular session. And I'm joined by 4 wonderful players who each session hate me a little bit more, but love playing the game even more as well. And who are those players? Well, take it away.
Hello, I'm Jim, and I should be playing ZAM BRAZEL.
And I'm Lizzie, and I shall be playing Wendy.
And I'm Gavin, and I'll be Blaze KELVIN.
And I'm PJ, and I'm playing Dr. Bill FORREST.
And wonderful. That's the nicest they're going to be, probably, to me. And they weren't even speaking to me during the session. So, no.
Most of it.
We all have fun playing this game. And thank you very much for checking out the show. If you like it, please like, subscribe, do all that good stuff to show your support. We really appreciate it. And likewise, just a bit of a content warning, if you're wondering what this is. I said sci-fi and horror, yes? Yes, I did. Yes, and as such, there may be descriptions of violence, gore, psychological trauma, nightmares. Just some nasty stuff sometimes happens on this particular
Prodigious
show.
use of the word prick.
Yes, and that's just PJ. That's what he calls me. But if any of that is not really your bag, then feel free to pull the ripcord and leave now. If it gets a bit too intense, we totally understand. I do sometimes worry about my players if it's too intense, but then they surprise me by saying, yeah, we enjoyed that.
You prick.
Yeah,
Dial it up a little bit.
Yeah. But like I say, as a GM, it's best to check about these things. And if you're playing this sort of system and this sort of game, please check with your players about the lines and veils and what people are comfortable playing, the scenarios that you're playing with. And yeah, I talk to them, and I think they've discovered a bit more about themselves, the sort of darker side of horror that they like. I'm looking at you, Lizzie.
I know you are.
Yeah.
Absolutely know you are.
We've learned a lot about you, Liz.
Yeah.
Lizzie and Wendy are not the same.
There you go. It's good to know. I mean, we've known her for a few years, but it's good that she's made a point of that. But
Lizzie was never in the army.
No, yeah, Lizzie is. Yeah, we're all a little bit scared of Wendy, but we love Lizzie, so.
Yeah, you better.
And like I say, if you start to panic or worry like I just did, then maybe you should talk to your players about it. And if you like the system, then please check out mothershiprpg.com and follow them on social media at mothershiprpg. More and more people are checking out this game and enjoying it, and rightfully so, because once you start playing it, it's immense fun to play this system. So even though things are going to get intense, or maybe they're not, who knows this week, but I think all my players, you've got your refreshments, you've got your dice, you've got your character sheets, you've got everything ready, yes?
Jim holds up the pipe. Yes.
Jim's got his pipe, so that can only mean one thing. It's time to start the engines, activate the jump drive, and begin this week's episode of Safe Space. When we last saw the crew of the O'Brien, they were spending some downtime together while they were waiting for the scheduled mechanics to arrive at Cassius Prime to fix their badly damaged ship. During that time, ZAM was eager to use the recording that he and the captain had discovered that could possibly implicate one of the echelon's higher ups in an act of negligence so horrific most people would have a hard time believing it. Dr. Forrest spent time with Sarah Madigan, keeping an eye on her current state, but in return finding someone from his past who was concerned for his well-being as well. Wendy found little peace and had been suffering from nightmares even more. Nightmares of a life that she was trying to move on from, and of pain and hidden terrors that lingered deep within her mind. Blaze KELVIN made a point of keeping a vigilant eye on Wendy whenever he could, as they were fellow Marines. During which time, he bumped into Rico, a colony worker who helped them remotely pilot a transport ship off the planet, hopefully to use as bait for the monstrous ship known as the Icarus that was headed that way. Rico seemed eager to leave the planet and wanted to make sure that they didn't leave without her. She also suggested that if Wendy's damaged arm was bothering her, she could always upgrade. And she even said she knew some people who could help with that. One night, as the original crew met up for the first time in a few days, they discussed their predicament, such as it was. During this time, they discovered that the captain had asked for an off-the-book job from a couple of the android maintenance engineers on Cassius Prime. She wanted them to clean up the ship's damaged android unit, Dick Sloan, so that he would be better equipped for the potential replacement limbs the captain wanted for him in the future. However, it seemed that his torso had been lost, or as the engineers believed, had been seen as trash and then sent to the garbage and recycling centre. The captain was pissed off, but seemed to get her money back. As the two engineers headed back to their own quarters, Wendy made a point of following them and discovered where one of them was living. She did this without the rest of the crew knowing, and to what end? Well, that was for her to know. Then, when it seemed like all they had to do was wait for the jump drive mechanics to arrive, something horrible happened. When meeting with the Doc and Wendy to go for some breakfast, as they had been doing, on a regular basis, Sarah Madigan suffered a traumatic seizure, one that meant the crew had to rush her to the nearest medical facility to aid her. With Wendy and Blaze's help restraining the thrashing woman, the doctor managed to stabilise her, put her into a medically induced coma, and in doing so, saved her life. Meanwhile, ZAM BRAZEL discovered that Roy Zetterling, another survivor of the Icarus, had also suffered a similar event, and with the help of a security worker rushed as fast as they could to the medical office. When they got there, it looked as if it was too late. But Dr. Bill Forrest was not giving up, and used every ounce of his medical knowledge and pure willpower to bring the man back from the brink of death. Two of the survivors of the Icarus had been saved, but it remained to be seen what had become of the third, the former sports star known as Quill Olbach. And that's where we pick up our story this week. Not directly after that moment, but some time afterwards, a short time afterwards, and we open up in a sterile environment, one of cold strip lighting and metal. Monitors blip and beep, and the sound of breathing pumps and apparatus catch our ears before we visualise what is there. Two large monitor screens display a different figure in each of them on the wall. They're both led still in a hospital bed, with tubes, drips and breathing masks over their mouths. To the side of these displays there are readings, wavelengths and numbers displaying the current state of both of them, and at the top of each screen we see names. Surname first, in a very hospital-like formal manner. On the left it reads Zetterling, Roy, and on the right, Madigan, Sarah. Medical staff dressed in protective garments can be seen. Not quite hazmats, full-on hazmat suits, but certainly they're keeping themselves fully masked up. Can be seen in the rooms with these figures, monitoring them in closer proximity, tapping away at tablets in their hands and scans and checking things. As we do so, we move out from that to a sparsely decorated room, a waiting room if you could call it such, with some basic metal furniture and water cooler nearby. This is not... It's clearly an infirmary-like structure of some kind, but this isn't a sleek hospital. This is an infirmary on essentially a mining colony, like an oil rig kind of thing. It's quite basic in its look, but we can see Bill Forrest, Blaze KELVIN, Wendy and ZAM BRAZEL. You are all in this sterile room with nothing but the distant sounds of an active medical infirmary in the background to keep you company as you sit there and waiting. By now you would have had a moment to sort of clean your faces, clean yourselves up and your hands as much as you could when you arrived here, but there's clearly still visible blood on you, on your clothes. You're probably in different states, the doc having most on him. And as you sit there very quietly at the moment, listening to the sounds, you are sat there with nothing but the sounds and the knowledge. You already know that Quill Owlback didn't get there in time.
Fuck you, Vince.
What is the state of the crew and the players at the moment?
Thinking, if there's a god, he's a right bastard.
Who's to say I'm a god? Oh,
I think the doc's just sort of sitting there with his head in his hands, knowing that, well, as far as he's concerned, knowing that he could have saved him. They could have gotten to him. He could have saved him. He saved the other two. There's no reason he couldn't have saved a third. Is how he thinks of it.
what
Chairs bolted down, or are they just loose?
They're fairly loose. Yeah.
Zam will kick a chair.
And there's an empty chair. I don't know whether you're all sat around. There's not lots of chairs, but Zam, you can certainly kick a chair, and it will skitter or skid across with a loud metallic screeching noise. What about the Marines?
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Well, why did it happen?
Yeah. All at the same time. I mean, this has to be us, doesn't it? This has to be the shuttle.
Well, something we missed from the Icarus.
Zam, you didn't play that tape again, did you?
Gonna kick the chair towards Blaze.
You're going to kick the chair towards Blaze?
Yeah.
Oh my god, he played the
Can you
tape.
make him roll for that to see if it reaches?
Yeah, totally. No stress needed, but let's have a roll. Give me a strength roll. So Zam is sort of silent at the moment and is just acting out.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to matter because I've rolled a 53 and I don't think my strength is. Yeah, strength is 39, so.
Yeah. Even with your heavy boots, only sort of like skids halfway. Doesn't even topple over. How unsatisfying.
Gonna fuel his rage even more.
Are they going to pull through, Doc?
I hope so.
From what you can see on the screen, Doctor, you can see that the life signs seem stable and they seem healthy from the readings. To the rest of you, these numbers may not look... Some of them look like gobbledygook, but with the Doc's training, he can They are in stable condition.
I need to... do an autopsy on Quill. It's the only way I can check. Find out for sure what killed him and make sure that we've done everything we can for the others.
Do we know where Quill is? Like, has he been brought here, or is he still in the other medical centre, or
They were
accommodation?
all brought here. You don't currently know exactly where
It's
he
in
is.
this building, this facility.
Yeah. And certainly, when they're all ushered in, you were ushered out. If you know what I mean, like, and the Explore sort of staff, medical staff, just took over. And the doctor who was there in the room when it all went down, he's been in. You know, you haven't seen him for a bit, and he was the one that gave you the news about Quill. That by the time they found him, which wasn't, you know, it was too late for him. I didn't stop the doctor feeling how he feels, of course. And it's as you're thinking about this that the sound of a door to the room sort of opens, and the familiar face of Dr. Philip West, who was obviously the one I was just talking about. He sort of steps through, and he looks tired and exhausted, a little grey in his face in some kind of way. And he steps over to you all, but he's sort of regarding Dr. Forrest a bit more. It was touch and go for a little while, but your friends are in stable condition. Their vitals have returned to normal, but we're going to keep them in the medically induced coma until we're more certain that it's safe to wake them up. Once again, I'm sorry about your friend. We did everything we could, but he was too far gone, I'm afraid. I'm sorry.
Have you determined cause of death?
It seemed to be a major cardiac event, but we have yet to do any further investigations. It seemed to be similar to what happened to your other friends. Not quite sure what the link is, and we are, of course, we can prep his body for travel when you leave, of course. Do you know if he had any next of kin at all?
We need to do a full autopsy on him, Doctor. They all had, when I examined them on the O'Brien, their hearts were healthy. There's something else here, and we think it ties back to where we found them.
Where did you find them?
The ship called the Icarus.
I've never heard of it. Is it?
It's a cruise liner for rich people, pleasure cruises, that sort of thing. But when we found the ship, there was something else there. It's hard to describe or even... Just please trust me, we need to do a full autopsy of Quill's body. They were the only survivors from that ship.
Do you think, you see he's sort of thinking to himself, I can certainly, I will speak to the others about doing an autopsy, but I don't think that you will be authorized to do so, Mr. Forrest. It's what happened to them all. It's the strangest case I've ever seen. I've after the, it was almost like for a small moment their entire system shut down, like something just, it sounds, I'm a medical professional in this case, it's almost like someone just unplugged them for some reason. It's but since you did the work you did, I've been monitoring them closely, and it's like nothing's happened at all. It's, as I said, we're keeping them in the comas, but I mean, if you look at the life signs on the screen there, that's, you wouldn't have think that it could be someone asleep. I don't.
Doctor, this is why, unorthodox as it may be, I need to be involved in that autopsy.
I understand that, Dr. Forrest, but it's...
No one here has experienced what we have. No one here has seen what we have.
I understand you're upset, but you have to understand there are certain protocols that have to be...
I don't care about your damn protocols. I am trying to prevent this from killing anybody else.
We of course did blood tests and scans, but are you suggesting that there could be something contagious involved, Doctor?
I don't know.
You see, he's thinking. And he looks to the rest of you.
Would it be more persuasive if there was something contagious involved?
I think it could be an altogether more alarming situation, very different situation we would be in right now.
There is a strong possibility that there is something contagious involved, and you should let Dr. Forrest, who is an expert in this, conduct his autopsy.
Under full supervision, of course.
Make a social roll, Wendy.
Da-da-da-da. Oh, Jesus.
I would say with advantage.
Okay.
With advantage due to the doc. What are you saying?
These guys, they haven't warmed up.
Oh my god. Wow.
Good wow.
Not just a wow.
We just don't know. We don't know in this game.
So I was aiming for a 35. I did not get a 35. But both sets of dice rolled 73.
Oh, wow.
Which is just wow. Yeah. That's the wow.
Wow.
That's the wow. Double fail, but not critical.
Yeah.
So, you know.
There's... I mean, Doc, you're pleading with this man. And you see Wendy's trying to help you.
I wanted intimidation,
but also,
not social. Damn it, wrong game.
Wrong game. But there's something about Wendy's demeanour that maybe isn't getting through. There's a, you know, I'm afraid it goes above my head. But there is something I would like you to see, Doctor. And I shouldn't really be showing you this, but I understand. You saw this before. Now, normally I would cross-reference what the scans against their medical records, but we can't seem to find any. And after the full body and brain scan, I checked the results against what I did previously with your friend Mr. Zetterling there. And he sort of swipes on a tablet towards a monitor in the room and brings up scans, what you can see. To the rest of the crew, you may not be sure what on earth you're looking at. But Dr. Forrest certainly would. They're 2 brain scans, side by side. As the doctor's going, do you notice the difference there? And Dr. Forrest, the shock in your system's sort of like just fading away, but it takes you a moment before you see it. If you remember when you did a scan of Roy Zetterling's brain, you can see that scan that you did just basically in the general practitioner's office, and it had a shadow sort of near the base of it. On the right is a newer scan, and the shadow's completely gone. It could be an issue with the equipment I have in my office, but for the life of me, I can't figure out what that is or why it's gone. What do you...
When was this scan taken?
The one with the dark patch, that's what we did when you were in my office, and this is earlier today.
After,
yes.
I don't think there's anything wrong with your equipment.
It's the strangest thing. There's an anomaly that isn't there anymore. I will of course run some more tests, but and I understand. I appreciate all the work you did, Doctor, and considering the autopsy, I will see what I can tally up the food chain. You see the doctor sort of glances slightly at the doorway and sees something that sort of makes him raise his eyebrows. Oh shit! And the door's open, and another figure sort of steps into the room, flanked by 2 sort of security guards. She's a middle-aged woman of about 5.5 feet, smart grey sort of dress suit and heels, sort of tan skin, shoulder-length dark hair with a streak of grey, like a line of grey running through it, and tied into a sort of a high bob at the back. She's got a stern look on her face and a furrowed brow. And the 2 figures that come in with her, you can tell immediately they're just sort of security, but they just stand by the door, and as she approaches, you see a name badge on her that reads Alana Henriksen, Head Administrator. And the doctor approaches her. Ah, Miss Henriksen, it's good to see you. I take it these are the people from the Gibbous vessel, the ones involved in the incident? Yes, but I assure you that enough, Doctor. You and I will be talking soon enough, be sure of that. Right now, I want to talk to the people who turned our practitioner's office into an operating theatre. And she turns to you. Now, I understand you lost someone, and you have my sympathies for that. But do not think that makes you free of any culpability here.
I'm sorry, culpability?
Do you realise what you could have done? Or what
I could have saved 3 lives. Instead, I saved 2.
And in doing so, potentially threatened the lives and safety of those people who work and live in this facility. What if this event had been contagious? What if we had had an outbreak? We have to close that office now and move the practice to another part of the complex.
You'd rather I'd just left the 2 of them wandering around the complex coughing up blood.
We have trained medical professionals on hand.
I am a trained medical professional, and I am better than anyone you have on this godforsaken rock.
What you are, sir, is not an employee of Explore Surveying.
Saving
You are
lives
someone...
is not about being an employee.
She just stands. Cold eyes looking at the doctor.
I do not. I will never put money or rules above the lives of human beings.
You are not an employee of Explore. You are not licensed here. I understand what you did. But understand me. You are a guest here. You are a promised layover between two companies. I will not risk the lives of 750 plus people within my facility just because someone wants to play God.
How dare you?
How dare you?
I save lives. I don't take them.
As this is happening, what the rest of these two are facing off? And you see the security are there, just sort of stood there. They don't look as if they're about to go for you all. They just sort of watch him.
Wendy's already thought of 37 ways that she could kill this woman.
Yeah.
With her bare hand. With one bare hand.
I kind of wanted to do it, but that would go badly. I think.
Yeah, she's really, really holding it in right now. Really holding it in.
Yeah.
Zam was about to punch the doctor, so he's really kind of gunning for this one.
We really
Wendy's
hate
just
authority
enjoying the
figures.
I mean, this is just the female. What's his name, isn't it?
Regis.
Yeah. He's done it again. He's.
No. Do you mean I've done it again? Now, I understand you're all upset. But you used medications and equipment that you had no authority to use.
I'm sorry I didn't sign your little forms.
No. But your employers did. And you can be certain that we will be contacting them.
By all means.
There is a considerable cost. Your company will be footing the bill for all of that. Right now, you're lucky I'm not fitting you with a bill personally, Mr. Forrest.
That's Dr. Forrest, and I'm very glad
Not on
you
my
can...
facility.
I'm so glad you're able to put a price on human lives, madam. And I'm just going to storm out.
And she just looks to the rest of you.
I lean over to Wendy.
Do we follow Duck?
I think Zam's gonna walk out, and he's gonna give maybe her a little shove as he walks past, make it look like an accident as he's walking past.
Ooh, what do I gotta get him to roll for that.
Don't accidentally kill us, eh?
No. Talk me into it, Zam. What would you like to roll for this? What are your basic stats? It's not a saving one. Do you want to do a strength? Not as in like force, but you know, to actually sort of.
No, should we go with speed? Like, you know, just quickly brush past. Yeah.
Yeah, just a flat speed roll.
Oh,
No.
this is gonna go so badly. Oh, actually, no. 31. And my speed is 50, so.
With a boom, hits the shoulder, and Zam, you immediately hear a. As you see, like the security guards looking at you with like stun batons at their sides. And
He's not even going to look at him, he's just going to go straight out the door.
Zam's out of the room. What are Blaze and Wendy doing? The woman is still. She's looking to you like there's going to be conversation. And what do you have to say?
Why don't you run back to your hole punch?
Why don't you both leave
Sweetheart.
Why don't you leave my infirmary this moment? We will tell your friend that we'll be in contact if there's any change to their condition. Isn't that right, Doctor? You can see that the doc's there like, what the fuck just happened? He's like, yes, tell Mr. Forrest I will updating on his friends.
We shall tell
condition.
Dr. Forrest to expect regular updates on his patients.
You see the woman smile.
Hole punch.
I'm glad we see eye to
Yeah.
eye. I'm not leaving. She's leaving first.
Oh fuck!
No, she isn't.
Oh no!
I'm standing there awkward like a child.
Administrator Henriksen, I think it's best that. Yes, I think it's best that these people leave. They've clearly been under some stress, and I think they need to cool off.
I'll just cool off by taking a seat.
Blaze, you can see that one of the security guards, the stocky guys, just he gives you a look like, "Come on, man, help me out here." It's just one of those. I don't, you know. He stood behind us. The woman can't see this. The woman is stone. Do you know what I mean? She's just. Where's security? One of the security guards is like.
I shoot him a look back that says, I can't, I don't know, it's out of my hands. Would that I could. I sit down next to Wendy, just...
One of the security guards is like... He approaches you, Wendy. He's a tall fella, like, just bald head, trimmed goatee beard, like, you know, looks quite stocky, but he's a. Come on, lady, you gotta go.
Are you a doctor?
And he points to the security on his name.
Is she a doctor?
She's our boss, so
I'll go if a doctor asks me to go.
And they turn. And the room looks at Dr. Philip West. Wendy, isn't it? Is it?
Yes, doctor.
There's no need. There's no need for any trouble. We please tell.
Oh, it's no trouble.
I assure you, it could be more trouble than you want. So I will be sure that we will take the utmost care, and I will contact Mr. Forrest about. You see him sort of searching for the words, and he's doing it. He stood in front of the administrator, so she can't read his face. He's something like, I will find out what I can about the proposal the doctor had about sharing medical notes.
Thank you, doctor. Come on, please.
What was that, doctor? I was just we were just sharing medical information between it's nothing, administrator. Thank you.
Thank you for everything that you've done for your patients and ours, doctor.
Cheers, Doc. Wait.
And as you walk out, Blaze, and you just take one look over, you see the doctor sort of stood there, and the last thing you see before the doors shut is the woman just looking up at the doctor with a cold look on her face, and she just steps to approach him, and you can tell he's got a look of like, oh, fuck. Another tense standoff in a hospital. That's how
Just don't know how it just escalates really quickly.
Get players you trust, people.
Did
No.
it on purpose.
I have the utmost respect for medical professionals and not administrators.
As you can
That's-
all, as Blaze, you're walking with Wendy, and Wendy's seething. Is that the right way to put it?
I'm kind of coming down a bit
Coming
now.
down a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of enjoyed it.
Mm.
Enjoyed
How you
feeling,
feeling, Wendy?
good. Yeah.
How's the arm?
Which one?
I point to the one that's obviously the one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Which
Oh,
is
do
not.
you know-
Which is not
you know, I
obviously on
forgot.
show. Yeah, it's not
I
completely.
kind of forgot. Nothing like
Yeah.
wanting to fucking kill someone.
No.
Take your mind off things, I guess.
Yeah, that was cleared my head.
I've gone like piratey again.
Oh,
I can't remember what I was going to say.
no pain. Doesn't tingle.
It's just like, yeah, I mean, it seems okay right now.
Come here, grip.
And I put my hand out like the predator. scene at the beginning.
Oh. Okay.
Could we do a little strength test?
Yeah.
Just to see
Yeah. Just
how your arm's doing.
strength check, Wendy,
Massive disadvantage.
with disadvantage. Yeah. And there's no, you can't add anything to this. This is just a general. If Wendy fails this, you'll tell that. Yeah, this isn't a arm wrestle. Blaze,
Oh no!
With that roll, it's not.
Blaze,
Oh, athletics.
have you accidentally slapped each other? Is that?
It-
Oh, you
Yeah,
son of
do
a
it now.
bitch! Oh!
Yeah. Just come around with the other hand and punch him in the nose.
Blaze, what did you get?
I got a 72, and I needed to beat
Okay.
31.
Okay.
I got a 39,
Now,
which technically was a fail if I didn't use athletics. Oh, in fact, no, it was a disadvantage. It was a 49. Sorry.
so that was a fail. Yeah.
So it's a fail.
Yeah.
But it's a better fail than his.
I mean, you both failed, but the way I'm sort of ruling this is, Blaze, the strength check for you was to control how much you put into it. You don't want to put too much into it. But because you failed, you do it a little bit stronger than you thought.
Jeff Goldblum in The Fly.
Yeah, you don't you don't realise, and you realise that there's certainly a lot less resistance than you thought there was going to be. Wendy, give me a body save.
I don't trust any of these dice yet. Let's try you.
Mismatched pair.
Nope. That's a 42 instead of a 27.
You take 2 points of damage.
I was going to say, the doc was waiting outside for everybody. Will have stopped Zam as well, so at this point just says, please, I don't need to be trying to fix you two idiots as well today.
And Wendy, the pain comes back like.
There's a little kind of twitch just here. And she really doesn't want to let it show.
Yeah.
But there's a little something that's happening just here that's just like, this really
Nope.
hurts. But I'm not letting on.
I saw that. That was pain. I can see pain.
It's fine.
Wendy.
I'm just angry.
Wendy.
Duck.
Who would like to break back into there tonight?
I mean, you asked me, so, you know. You literally said my name at the beginning, so I'm guessing it was for me.
Well, anybody really, please, Zam, if you're in. Dr. West is a good man and a good doctor, but he's not seen what we've seen, what I've seen. He doesn't. He's a backwater doctor.
We're going to be putting everything on the line here, Doc. You know that, right?
It won't be the first time.
Well, we're going to piss off a lot of people.
It won't be the first time.
Probably going to piss off the captain.
It won't be the first time.
You make a strong argument, Doc.
Okay.
Hey, are we grave robbing?
No. It just, if the autopsy's already been done, I can check over it, check over the notes, check Quill, and if it hasn't, well, you'll keep watch out and I'll be cutting Quill open.
I mean, the other doc did say that he would be in touch with, notes.
I need more than notes, Wendy.
Yeah.
I suggest we rest up for the rest of the day and, well, I've never broken into anywhere before, so...
Nor have I. That may not be true.
Please, Zam.
Sam totally has.
Yeah. He's broken into his ex-wife's house, hasn't he?
Drunk.
It was his house as well, so
Yeah.
not broken into.
No, it was a fancy house because it was uptown.
Yeah,
Ill.
Too soon.
probably more like, kick the door into. It wasn't anything sophisticated. We're not looking at like a master locksmith.
If we're still standing kind of reasonably outside the building,
Have you been walking and talking, by the way?
just
I've assumed sort of, not quickly, but...
Okay.
just kind of turn around and just
Walking and-
scope it from a distance
Walking
and
and
figure out
whispering.
what sort of ID you need to get into the building if you were going in the front door.
There is definitely medical personnel.
What sort of structure and
Scan cards.
big open windows and nice vents that might be available.
I mean,
Just having a look.
There's vents all over that. There are, certain ventilation parts.
Let's try and find Rico. She might be able to help us.
Hate to be
I
that
want to
guy,
speak
but
to I want to speak to Beth. I want to get some information.
should we clear this with the captain?
We definitely shouldn't.
All right,
I
I'm in.
think the less the captain knows, the better. Plausible deniability.
Okay. So you
Okay,
head
bye.
you head back
Oh,
to
fuck.
you head back to the main living complex because the infirmary is not within the living complex. It's more in like the admin, the administration, and that's where there's like a hospital because it's closer. That is set up to be closer to the mine, and you do notice as you've been in there that there's like day-to-day workers that have, some of them have been. There were accidents that happen on this mining colony, as well as people just for scrapes and bruises and stuff. Yeah, but there's definitely key cards and security, medical personnel. As you know, Doctor, they don't just let any not, in a hospital, they don't just let any old people walk about willy-nilly. So there's definitely security here, as well as security cameras that are watching.
Security cameras that could be affected by a radio jammer.
Well, I'm not going to tell you that, am I?
Oh, how quickly we went from we're all traumatized to let's break into the hospital.
Yeah,
Let's do a heist.
I can't
My
see.
bad.
I can't see this going badly whatsoever.
You.
Okay, so then you take the monorail. Feel free to do the song. back to the back to the living complex, and you're still in your blood-stained clothes. You do get some looks as you are being noticed once again as you walk through this. Low profile is not something that the crew of the O'Brien have really been privy to since they've been on on this colony.
The dog looks like he just couldn't give a shit and is just walking purposefully.
Yeah. Where are you going, Doc?
Back to my quarters to clean up and put on some
Okay.
clean clothes. Probably feed the cat.
Oh yes, of course. Admiral Mittens. What a glorious beast she is. And certainly it is a soothing sight after everything, and the adrenaline, it's taking a while for that adrenaline to really kick off. Those sort of attitudes that you experience from the administrator are something that you're not a complete stranger to. But where's the rest of you? As the Doc heads back to his own area, what are the rest of you doing?
What time of day is it?
This is probably getting on mid-afternoon now. It all happened.
Yeah.
It all happened like just before breakfast, but with the time of getting over there and everything settling down, and certainly hours and hours of checks, and you were probably sat in that waiting room for a good couple of hours. So we're talking probably mid-late afternoon. It's hard to really tell because there's no sun in the sky because it's all in there.
That's why I asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're talking
I was going to go to stocks and supplies. But
four and
I
five.
realised I'm broke.
Yeah, between 4 and 5, I would say.
2, 4, and 4.
Yeah.
Has anyone got any money?
Would you like to borrow some money?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you like?
Just for some nice dark clothes for our heist. So if you could look on your little charts, Vince, do they have a black polo? Sorry.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Turtleneck.
I'll just look in my my Gucci Mothership.
Thank you.
Yeah. Or are you going?
Appreciated.
Yeah.
Hey,
my
milk
Dolce
tray
and
man
Gabbana.
outfit.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, certainly when you get to this is just standard wear. This is the place where the stocks and supplies, literally that, the toothpaste, basic clothing. It's nothing too fancy.
Basically, if they got any dark overalls.
Dark overalls.
Stuff that would-
Yes, they will have. How much will it
Cool.
be?
I will.
It won't be.
Wendy
much.
will have come with you in order to buy this stuff.
Oh, okay, good. I hope you took note of people's sizes. Buy Zam's
Best guess.
slightly too small.
Yeah.
I was hoping to go with the sleeve slightly too long on terms. Though.
Trousers too small. Top too big.
Make a body save. No. Yeah, I would think it's probably going. You're probably looking at about 5 credits for something simple. It's not even.
Oh, wow.
Not even colourful.
Cool.
So.
And
Thanks,
for everybody.
Wendy.
It's all right.
That's for Blaze's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And-
4 sets.
4 sets. Yeah. If you just are you all just buying black clothes?
Yeah, we're going into goth phase.
Sam's not buying any clothes. Apparently, he's having clothes bought for him, and they're all
Yeah,
going
he's
to be
having clothes
ill-fitting.
bought for him.
He's having clothes bought
Sam's,
for him. How does that
Sam's gonna
Zam
be
make
looking
him?
for.
I hope they got your size, Zam.
No, he's already said trousers too short, top too long.
Brilliant.
You
Yeah.
know, Sam's looking for backs.
Where you'd find her at this time after a shift, it takes you. It's not super difficult to find, but around this time, she's just getting some food. She's not always in a bar. You find her just picking up a couple of things just to take back to her living quarters and stuff. And you haven't changed your clothes.
No.
No. And she's there, and she's just got some like a burrito and some like, you know, a polystyrene. You can see a polystyrene sort of. She's basically got her evening lunch that she's going to have back, and she looks
She
tired.
paid for it.
Oh yeah, she paid for it. Yeah. You
She's
see her,
paid for it already, is she?
yeah, you see her coming out of the sort of
Okay.
canteen and stuff. And she's like, and she looks physically tired after a shift, and she's like, oh hey Zam,
Hey.
oh my god, are you okay? What
yeah,
happened?
Just a
What happened?
minor medical emergency. Nothing to worry about.
Minor, you're covered in.
Oh, don't worry about that. It ain't mine.
What? What happened?
What?
Did someone get hurt? What's?
Well, a couple of our gang started having seizures of some kind.
What? The fuck, are they
Don't worry about
okay?
it. It's all sorted. Yeah, they're fine. They're fine. I need to know something. You got anything on Alana Hendrickson?
Oh yeah, the administrator, right? The.
Yeah.
How do you mean? Do I have anything on?
I don't know. Anything interesting we should know?
Well, she runs this place. She's like the. You know, the buck stops with her.
Yeah, but so you wanted to take that buck away?
What the hell are you talking about, Sam?
She pissed me off.
I mean, I've never met the lady personally, but I know some people that have. I know she's a.
Yeah.
I mean, she's an ice queen, is one way of putting it. But
Yeah. Well, I
how
want
does
to
she
melt.
piss? How does she piss you off?
She just came in the room, pissed
God,
me
this
off.
isn't
It
her.
don't take much.
This isn't her blood, is it?
Oh no!
got-
If this was her blood, I'd be
Not
smiling.
yet.
You'd be smart. When you say that, Zam, she looks at, gives you a double take. The hell are you talking about? You'd be smiling.
Come on, you must know something.
You're a strange little man, Zam Brazel.
I sure am.
Why are you smiling like that? You gotta realize that this is a picture of freakiness right now. What I've got in front of me right now.
Yeah, I've had worse.
Anyway, yeah, I wouldn't. Whatever you're thinking, I wouldn't fuck with that.
Come on, there must be something.
What, the boss of this whole mining colony? How am I gonna know anything about her?
Because you always know everything.
Well, flattery will get you everywhere. I don't know everything. I just know most people. And I get that way by being nice. Why
That's-
don't you
that-
want to be nice,
You
Sam?
do that so well. Because right now, I really want to be an asshole.
Well, if I remember correctly, you were an asshole the first time I met you, so
That's true, and I apologize for that. You didn't deserve that. This bitch, she deserves it.
make a social roll.
This ain't gonna go well. Was it social? 31. 71. So no, it's a fail. Am I taking stress for that?
Depends how. In all honesty, how invested are you in convincing her to get information? Or are you
Not
trying-
massively,
Okay.
but
If it's
you
just
know,
more
yeah.
casual, and judging by the way that
Yeah.
Zam's talking, this is pretty fucking casual. But when you say the B word, she's like, "Hey man, don't talk like that. That's just disrespectful."
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disrespect.
Look, I'm sorry. I mean, I
Just
can't.
got me all riled up. That's all.
Yeah, I can understand. Especially, look, I'm sorry about your friends, and I'm glad they're okay. So, perhaps you should just go have a shower or something and just chill out. It's you know, perhaps I mean a few of us are going for some drinks later if you want to meet up. But please change your clothes before you do. Because I'm not I'm not explaining this.
Oh no, that's fine.
Oh, I asked a couple of my buddies about that Android
Oh yeah,
unit of yours. Yeah, they said they were going to look into it this morning. I haven't heard back from them since, so But yeah, I put the word out there. It's a bit of a strange description, so I'm guessing if they see something, they'll let me know. But
don't think you could lose half an Android, really. But there you go.
Well, if it's in the trash, there's who knows?
Is important. Is a member of the crew.
I'm sorry.
Much as I, don't like robots, it's
Okay.
He did save my life.
Yeah. Well, he must be a pretty damn good robot, if that's the case. So.
Yeah. Don't tell him I said that.
Look, I can keep my eyes. I've had a long shift. I'm pretty tired. I can't. There's not much I can help you with the higher ups, because you got to understand, Zam. This is my job.
Yeah.
It's I love you guys, but at the end of the day, this is my work, and none of you actually work here. Like when you eventually jet off to whatever villa you've got back wherever you're from, then I'm still gonna be here collecting a paycheck. So I can't go pissing in the wind.
I got you. Don't worry about it. Good, I said anything.
Okay. I mean, it'll be easier to forget you said something than it will be to the actual vision I've got right now. It's gonna,
Yeah, don't worry.
I'm just glad I didn't pick like soup or chili, because
It's a good idea. I might get some soup.
Yeah, but I would, like I said, Sam, why don't you turn around and head back to your quarters and wash up first before you eat anything, because they're not going to be happy. I mean, just talking to you now, we're getting a few looks from people walking past, And this is Bex is sort of like, she's got a heavy duty overalls sort of like half down, so she's like in half like mining gear, the maintenance sort of engineer gear, and ZAM BRAZEL. Are you wearing a Hawaiian shirt?
Yeah, he would have been in a Hawaiian shirt.
He would have been in a Hawaiian shirt
that's
got covered in blood. So it's quite an image.
Yeah,
just.
I mean, maybe it just adds to the pattern. Yes.
There's some merch. No. Yeah, so just do me a favor, Zam. Just clean up, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll as she starts heading off towards like her section of like the living quarters, and she start eating on some tortilla chips, and she's like, and I'll keep you posted about if I find out more about that android. It's okay.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Say hello to the rest of the guys for me.
Will do.
Your heads off.
I'm gonna go back and clean up now then.
Zam is learning.
Oh God, he's learning. Blaze, Wendy, what are you guys doing? After you pick up some clothes, are you heading back to your...
Well, Wendy, just quickly, is there anything else that you think that we might need for infiltration operations? Like rope?
50 feet of rope. Lots of oil.
Portable computer terminal.
Yeah, they got one of them behind the desk.
Oh, Zam's got one.
Oh.
We've got that and a radio jammer.
That's good, but do we need, like, I don't know, hairpins for lockpicks?
I think in the Great
There aren't any
Mythicator,
standard doors here, Gav.
I mean, if we
And
could
you
get an ID from a medical professional.
What? Mug someone.
Are we going to do the whole one of us pretends to be a patient?
Well, that was the other thing that Wendy was thinking, was maybe we kind of go, oh, look,
I will give you
wheel me into the
Good old Star
hospital.
Trek
So
4.
we might have to have a little meeting.
With that in mind, I will give you this bit of
Okay.
information for free. You know, certain people have certain uniforms, and everyone lives. The living complex is where the majority of people that live and work in this facility actually stay. The majority, not necessarily all. And
Guessing Hole Punch doesn't live over here.
I'm writing down that name. I've got to write down that name. And you do see people that do have, you know, even if it's just like administrative sort of garb, there are people with medical stuff. Even if it's just under a coat, you do notice that there are infirmary workers who live here as well.
But too many people around to mug them.
In broad daylight, in the open of the complex, yes, but
Get them drunk.
I mean, I was intending that we might go and, you know, clean up a little bit, spot of lunch, you know, take a moment to relax and refresh, and then
That's
Next
why
day,
the
then.
doc
rather
was
than
trying to find-
standing in the corridor covered in blood, holding some rope and some thieves' tools, going, come on!
That's why the doc wants to try and find Rico, because he thinks she's her best shot of getting some kind of ID that'll get them in.
Mhm.
Yeah, she might know someone. All right, well, we've got the uniforms, so let's go lunch.
The other thought was obviously, you know, we could go and visit our underground friends that we haven't killed
I
yet.
don't think there are any left.
There was loads of people used to come
I
and
don't
watch
think
the
there's
fighting.
any left, Wendy. You and Doc saw to that.
New friends in the underground fight scene.
You want to go back down? All right.
No way of going up. So
What if you start a riot?
exactly.
And then all the security will go that way, and then we can go the other way.
All right, let's go start a riot then.
I can't believe how badly you want this to go for your.
I mean that achieves two things, because it gets us potentially into the hospital, so the doc can do what the doc needs to do, and it pisses off that woman, which I am now making my life's mission.
What happened to the other guy?
What other guy?
The man on the screen.
Oh yeah, well he's next. This is like a starter.
Okay. More of a proximity thing.
Yeah, it's more efficient to start with her, and then do him.
Careful with that logic.
Okay. Okay. So while
People like that.
Blaze and Wendy have cleaned themselves up, Doc, you're looking for Rico. Obviously, last time she was seen, Blaze saw her. She was off to her shift, if you remember, Blaze, just before it all sort of kicked off.
Yes.
So I'd
She
probably
might still be working.
She might still be working. Let's have a little look. You do spot her at one point, Doc. Just sort of heading back, and she's also got heavy duty gear. She's got like a small rucksack over her back, and you know, she's got a little bit of a cigarette in her mouth. What you do notice, she's got a pair of like sort of, people kind of don't want to bother her, and she's got like mirrored aviator glasses, as if to sort of like, she's just walking through like, don't fucking bother me. You know those people that you clearly like, oh, they're in a funny mood when you see them in the street. She's that person. Doesn't mean you won't be bothered. She's heading towards the living complex. Worker Habitat C is where you see her heading towards.
I just fall into step next to her and just say, Rico.
Oh. Hey, Doctor. Are you... What is it now?
I need another favor.
Of course you do. And,
Can you
you know, how big a favour is this going to be now?
Can you get us passes that will give us access to a medical facility after hours?
She stops walking and just turns to look at you. I'm sorry, the communication broke up there for a little second. You want what?
You fucking heard me, Rico.
There's the woman that is taller than you.
Oh yeah, and I've seen what she can do.
She flicks the cigarette and steps up to you. What's your fucking manners, little man?
Here's the thing.
Don't you know anything about being polite?
I really
You
don't
didn't-
have time for manners at the moment. I really don't give a shit what your deal is. I don't trust you, Rico. You're coming on our ship. That's fine. We agreed. I'm a man of my word. But you still need to earn my trust if you're going to be on my ship. And I really, really don't care what your deal is. I'm trying desperately here to save people's lives.
When you say desperately, she smiles. You may not trust me, Doc, but I don't trust you. And perhaps you better think before you insult me, considering you want my help so badly. And that's where we're going to get a break.
No! Oh no.
Join us.
Just can't be nice to people.
We're
Just
losing all of our friends.
Yeah, well.
join us
Doc's
back.
in a bad mood.
He is. He is. Oh, I'm feeling the tensions in the air. So we're gonna have a break, but see us back in 5 minutes to see what happens and see if they can actually get any help. See you in 5.
Yay.
And welcome back. So, here we are in this situation where Dr. Bill Forrest, on his own, has sort of cornered, for want of a better term, Rico, the mysterious colony worker who helped them at the end of last season. And he's a bit exasperated at this moment in time. But for all his bellowing, Rico seems pretty nonplussed by it. And she looks down at you, Doc. Why don't you play nice for once, Doctor? You can give me all the attitude you want. But frankly, I don't give a fuck. You say that I need you to leave this rock, and that's true. But it looks like you need me a hell of a lot more right now.
I'm asking you to make my life easier, but I can proceed without you.
If you wanted an easy life, Doc.
Oh, believe me, Rico, if I wanted an easy life, I had options a long time ago.
And now you're here. In this corridor. Asking me for a favour. And
Looks like...
all you have to do, and she lowers the aviators, is say please.
Please.
There. That wasn't so hard, was it? So, what exactly do you want again?
We need keycards that will get us into the medical facility out of hours.
I'm sorry, what? Why do you want to...
You're better off not knowing.
Well, could I at least have the cliff notes, considering you're asking me to put my head on a chopping block again?
If you don't help, everyone's head may be on the chopping block.
Well, that's none of my concern. My concern
Really?
is my particular neck and head, so...
You do know that if everyone in this place dies, that includes you, right?
Not if I leave here first.
How are you going to leave if we can't?
Well... like you just said to me, Doc. I'll find some other way. But, okay, I may be able to help you. What's in it for me?
Trust.
Oh, you're being serious. It's a two-way street. I don't think you can really offer that right now. I'll need something a little more substantial.
What I'm trying to give you is plausible deniability, Rico, but if you're not interested in gaining our trust and helping, then just say so now. I have nothing else to offer you.
She just thinks for a moment. A favour. No questions asked.
I'm the inquisitive type. But okay.
I can get you what you want. I didn't hang around with that dipshit Flanagan.
Oh, please, we both know you were the brains behind that operation.
I was just the muscle. But I may have occasionally seen where he stored some of his shit. So I'll have a dig around. But like I said, a favour. One day in the future, I'll ask for your help, and you give it. I've already been more than generous enough than keeping my mouth shut about what happened just the other day. So, and I had to cough up a few credits of my own just to keep some of the guys we had watching the perimeter quiet as well.
Yes, you're the only one who lost out from that operation. I'll do you your favour. As long as you come through on this one.
Okay. Meet me, it'll take me a couple of hours, but meet me by this viewing area at the biodome later.
I'll see you there.
It's been a pleasure.
He'll just walk off.
And she just watching you leave before turning and heading back. Okay, so you can all reconvene. You have a moment, gang. What happens now? It's going to be a couple of hours. Obviously, you can all meet up at a certain point. You want to go ahead and do this now, right?
Everyone should try on their outfits first.
Yeah. Oh yeah, have a little bit of a fashion show.
Woke up and down, Zam.
How is this?
Stealth clothes.
I like the thought that Zam's put his Hawaiian shirt back on over his black polo neck.
Oh dear.
Hey, what the hell's wrong with this? The trousers are too short.
That's all they had in stock.
I'm impressed you were able to find trousers too short for Zam.
Watch it, dog.
Okay. So what is the plan, A-team?
I think we've got 4 different plans.
Let's just do them all, and they won't know what hit them.
You have a moment.
Yeah.
This is all happening pretty quickly. The day has been, as the evening passed, this is like,
I mean,
So-
the dog's plan is sort of, hopefully, Rico comes through with these passes, and we can get access like early hours of the morning. like
You
2
only
a.m.
asked for the passes as well.
Mm.
You didn't ask for anything else.
Nope.
Do you know when you might be meeting up with her?
It was a couple of hours from the conversation. Definitely taking Blaze and Wendy with him.
You
I
didn't
mean,
say...
the thing is, to get there, presumably we have to go on the monorail and
Yeah.
So we need a reason or some way of not being obviously on the monorail going, hello, we're going to do a heist now.
Yeah.
So I think we should knock Zam out. Just like lots of blood. And then we can just wheel him over there.
Do I have any tranquilizers?
I don't think you brought any with you.
Save him, Doc.
They did.
I got tranquilizers right here.
Yeah. This is obviously...
Are you saying this in front of Zam, or
I wouldn't know.
especially
Like
he's not up for this?
Okay.
You did also... You went to this section of the colony before, Doc, when you were asking about the communications, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
That section... there's sort of like the android maintenance is in this section, the infirmary, the admin and records, and basically is, and there's several layers to it. But where you were, for the plan you have, you could possibly get access to the infirmary, but you're going to have to be clever about it.
Oh, that's not our strong point.
And
Can
it's
we
all,
not be
it's,
pulling in a china shop about it?
it's all a case of timing. And well, my players can do whatever they want.
I think we need to sort of walk in and act like we're supposed to be there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Are you planning
In
on
our
using the
stealth.
radio jammer, or
I think we should, yeah.
because the radio jammer is like a backpack thing, so
If
it's
we're
not like subtle.
if we're wheeling Zam in, if we can get Zam in a bed and wheel him in, can he have it like? Can it be under the bed or something?
Where are you getting the bed from?
I don't fucking know. Rico, I need a bed.
Yeah,
Stretches.
Where's Banjo Flanagan when you need some?
yeah.
Walking through the desert,
Where is Banjo Flanagan?
dead in the desert,
Ah.
after being picked to pieces by space vultures.
Oh, I've got to make a note of it. Yeah. It was, it wasn't like ER when you got there. It wasn't like people were running about.
No.
But, there were some. It is a work, but at the same time, it's not a very quiet, like hostile, kind of place. It's.
In a non-criminal approach to the problem, is there decent communication between where we are, the living complex, and the admin block?
The interior communications of of this colony are working.
And would there be what might be called vid screens in some places?
Yeah, there would be. Yeah.
So
it was all the
prevailed
external.
upon Dr. West to go and do an autopsy. Our doc could be watching that on a video screen in the medical bay and seeing what he was doing, which might not be good enough for Doc.
There is
Be there,
also. There is also, as you left, of course there is. There's like the reception desk, the admin sort of desk as well. If you wanted to go the diplomacy route, you could, because the Dr.
really?
West is probably going to be there. He's still going to be there.
I think we
I mean,
should.
the Dr. West, I think, is cool. I think the rest of them, I'm just going to...
But I think
Wendy and Lizzie are different. Wendy and Lizzie are different.
no, I think it'll be presumably though it's quieter at that time than it would be during the day. So I think if we can get in, find Dr. West, and then we can offer to knock him out, so it looks like we forced him, plausible deniability, and then I can do my business, and then we can leave.
What do we know about the punishment regime on this planet? Is there summary execution for those from off-planet who do bad things?
This is not the Wild West. You're not going to get hung, drawn, and quartered. But you may be locked. There is a security detail. There are holding cells that there may be.
Prison, a little bit of gentle prison.
Yeah, until
Gentle prison.
gentle prison might be a bit longer, and the longer term ramifications, considering you work for another company. Whether how much you care about the company you work for right now, or what that entails.
Oh, the doc did not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any of us care now.
Yeah. So it's up to you. There's but every action there will be echoes of things, which could be positive as well as negative. This isn't like you're gonna get told off somehow. It's just that you can't rock up to Deadwood and then just start acting like you're the sheriff, if that makes sense. And you do know that you've met security people and they're just doing their. There's a lot of people. One thing you do know about this place, there's a lot of people just doing their jobs.
Yeah.
As much as you may not like the big bosses, the other people. One of them directly looked at Blaze and went, "Just give me a break, man." Yeah.
I'm just as powerless as you, mate.
Yeah, it was one of those. I'm sorry, man. Oh, please, man. Oh, come on. Yeah. Yeah. But it's up to you.
Did Dr. West ever get in touch over the few hours that have passed?
He hasn't been in touch yet.
Wow.
But he said... Did he say he was going to get in touch? Yeah.
He's
He
gonna, like,
gave
compare
a
notes.
he gave a cryptic message to Wendy. But also, Doc Forrest hasn't been in his living quarters all the time.
He was for a bit.
He had to try his outfit on.
And feed the cat again.
Feed the cat again. Come on. You just had an argument with, with someone. Okay, so what are we doing, players? What are we doing?
I think we meet Rico to get the passes, and we just walk in, disable use the jammer before we enter to try and make sure we don't get spotted on the security cameras, and try and find Dr. West.
If you remember correctly, Zam, the jammer is not something that fits in your pocket.
No, it's like a backpack.
It's a backpack.
But if we've disabled the cameras, then they can't see him wearing it.
Yeah. So you can all meet when you head to the biodome area, and she makes you wait a little bit before you see Rico just casually stroll up. Still dressed. She doesn't look like she's changed her gear much. She's gotten out of the heavy duty. Hey gang, how are we all doing this evening?
Good.
We're having a great time.
I like it in here.
Doc, it's good to see you again. And she offers her hand out to shake.
Sam will shake a hand.
She's like, "Oh, hey there, big man." As you shake her hand, you realise she's got something. There is in the palm. She just palms you a plastic card. She goes, God, you got firm hands. That's a working man's hands, isn't it?
Yeah, you got a pretty firm grip yourself there.
Well, I work out. So, yeah. Well, I hope. I hope you all have a nice evening. Whatever you're planning to do. Don't get into too much trouble now.
Day we've had.
Well, I'll see you in the morning. Hopefully. Or maybe not. Who knows? And then she just...
Maybe a drink later.
I'm buying. Not the first time, eh, Duck? And she turns away.
My kind of drink.
And she turns away. Zam, one thing you do notice, this is a security card for the medical office. That infirmary. It's got a name on it. Jackson. It just Jackson, D. One thing you do notice, it's also got blood on it.
Just wipe the blood off and hand it to the doc.
Yeah. Do you make a note of that? Do you say anything about that to the doc? The doc is not aware of.
With the blood?
Yeah.
No, just wipe that off.
Yeah.
Give it to the doc.
Yeah. And you have an access card to the Cassius Prime Infirmary. As you see Rico disappear into the distance. And you're leaving you all free, looking like a group of milk tray men. Look up the reference, folks, if you not understand what that is.
One of us looking like an ill-fitted.
Yeah. I mean, it's not exactly the stealthiest. They've gone from looking like they've just got out of The Evil Dead to having polo necks, black polo necks.
They're in dark coveralls, I think is where we ended up.
Yeah, dark coveralls. Okay. You don't look like a James Bond barbershop quartet.
You said it was just supplies. It wasn't. It wasn't Gucci.
Yeah, no, it was just dark shirts and overalls and things like that. So, yeah. And
nothing suspicious at all.
No, after seeing what you look like afterwards, probably people pay you less attention now that you're just dressed like this. This is like, whatever. But yeah, you're free to head back to the admin section.
What time is it now?
It's getting on for the evening now. This is late evening. We're talking touching 10 o'clock, I'd imagine.
And do we all want to go in, or do you want a distraction to pull people away?
As you get to the entrance, you see people sort of coming and going, and there's certainly like miners and stuff coming out, and some of them are holding their arms and getting on the monorail and, you know, taking corridors to other places.
Distraction wouldn't hurt. I suggest we lay low for a couple of hours and then fewer people, fewer to distract.
Zam, I presume you've got a big backpack on? Yeah. Just let me know when you want to activate these things. You know, all of these things, by the way. So are you waiting around for like another bit of time? What are you doing, going?
Yeah, I think we needed to be later. Like, so
if you imagine, you're almost like you're sat outside the hospital, for want of a better term. You know, the accident and emergency. You're currently sat out there, or do you want to head in?
I might ride the monorail for a while.
Just back
and forth, because it's cool.
Yeah.
You know, rather than sitting on a bench for 2 hours outside the hospital, I'm going to ride the monorail.
Okay.
Birmingham Airport circa 1985, that's what you did. You didn't wait for you got the monorail.
Yeah. And where it stops from the admin HQ, it sort of runs to like this big section that's mineral storage and equipment, and you can tell that there's also a lot of people milling around there. There's shifts on and on, you know, even though yes, the infirmary's a little bit quieter, this is constantly people are on shifts, and they're on shifts. It's 24/7. This is a working colony. There's not necessarily unless it's the witching hour, should we say. That's probably the quietest moment, but other than that, this is never really stops. And you do notice you haven't been to this, you never went to this section of it before, Wendy, so it's interesting to see the sort of people that are getting off, and certainly it's another type of heavy duty work person here, you know, all in heavy duty gear, probably a thicker than the miners as well. And as the doors open and you can hear, it's also, you need special, or there's these huge massive metal doors and security for everything. Everything in this place seemingly, apart from the living complex, which has a certain amount of freedom in its social aspects, when it comes to the actual work, you've got to be authorised to get in. But then after you've finished riding backwards and forwards on the monorail, does anyone notice you just staying on there? No. No, I rolled terribly.
Stealthy, see?
Yeah,
that's the dark overalls.
That's the dark overalls for you.
I'm sure there are other people who just ride it back and forward because they enjoy it, so
yeah.
Probably not that unusual.
You know, you're probably not. I mean, this is a planet on the edge of space, so apart from the things you've been doing, there's not a great deal to do, so you're probably not wrong. So
start a little club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that always ends well.
As Wendy, as you get to the sort of admin HQ and like the entrance of the infirmary, one thing you do notice, there is a point where there seems to be a kerfuffle, something happening of some kind, and certainly you're sort of, and you and a group of people are kind of pushed out the way as a group of people are rushing through towards the infirmary. And they're like, out the fucking way, we got a man hurt, and as they pass, there's a scent that catches your nostrils. Anyone else may not know this, but Wendy probably does. Burnt flesh There is a strong smell of someone that has been badly burnt in some kind of way, and you can still hear that the slight hiss of something as you turn around. There's also another sort of smell in the air. You can't quite put your finger on it. It's almost there's a faint sense of like incense in some kind of way as this person's through. And even though like you can't quite see, you do catch they're carrying a guy literally on a sort of stretcher as he's pushed through, and he's in a sort of like heavy duty hazmat miner's uniform, and he's screaming, and you the rest of you would see this as you see these people approach. There's a good chunk of his suit that's just melting, that's been melted off, and he's in a bad way and he's screaming. But yeah, there's an emergency and it's barreling through, and as soon as that happens, as soon as you see them approach Doc, you see medical people begin rushing out.
Can Wendy have joined that mob?
Yeah.
Run off the monorail and assuming that it was at
Wendy
the
is
stop,
not far behind them.
just chasing after. Going, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
And you
Trying to be part of that group.
Yeah.
That's
You
going
see this group like heading into the infirmary, and Wendy's chasing after them, saying this as you're all sat there. What are you doing?
I think that's our distraction. Zam, if you could.
I'll switch the radio jammer on.
Okay, as you reach into the bag and start, and you just sort of just cranking up some bits and flick a switch, and you see the lights still. There's a slight flicker.
We see the cameras going down.
You do see like there's a couple of like vid screens that are around that are dotted around this sort of colony anyway. Some of them showing like, I don't know, a babbling brook or something like that. But you see them sort of like, and signal lost appears on them.
Right, let's go. And we'll just walk in.
I'll stick with the doc then, so that I'm covering him.
Okay.
Same.
So as you're following the pack as this bursts through, and certainly you see other doctors and nurses sort of rushing in. Oh, what we got? It was in one of the tunnels J7. He hit one of the veins. The gas it just hit him. Get him in. And as this guy's like, this horrible scream. It's like, oh god, the suit's stuck to him. Oh god.
Doc pauses. How many, the other doctors who are in here, do they...
This comes in, when this happens, this is an event that turns all attention to it. Okay? There's something specific, this is obviously a certain type of event that the way that they're moving and the way that they act and they're reacting, this has happened.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing and they're heading for it. But because of the severity of this, everything is on this, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I pause. I can sort of see, right, they've got this, and I carry on.
So are you heading in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Doc is heading as they like their doors open and they push the guy through and they're doing everything, and some of the miners have gone through with him as well, and they're going after their friends, so that like even like the people are like no, we can't have you in here. They're barreling their way through, which gives Doc a chance, to just he slips through. Wendy, you followed this group, haven't you?
I'm sticking with that group
Yeah.
at the back, just to kind of
And
make sure that Doc's going where he's meant to.
Yeah, and they have not, this group that you've sort of potentially you're tailing. They haven't noticed that you're not part of their group, if that makes sense right now.
Yeah.
And the medical professionals certainly aren't. They're not paying attention to you whatsoever. So Wendy and Doc are through the first door. What are Zam and Blaze doing?
Do you want Zam to wait? Because you don't want him jamming any of the equipment in the infirmary
That's
journey.
true. That's a
It's
good
got
point.
quite a reach on it, though, isn't it?
Yeah, 100 kilometres.
So, you want to start walking now, Zam? And
So do you want him to switch it off? Or
I will
moving,
say this in the interest of fairness, because I'm not going to say Zam switches off a hospital. That's not how this thing works. Okay. And Zam, you've had a couple of days with this thing since you traded with it. We'll do a roll for it because rolls are always fun.
Yeah.
To get used to this equipment, so you know, because there are dials and there are switches, so the intensity of what it is. Do you know what I mean? To localize it, because you are aware that you don't want to. And normally this is meant for radio, mainly radio signals, not necessarily all of that. But do you want to give me an intellect roll? What of
Yeah.
yeah?
Well,
Have you
I
got
don't
it?
think jury rigging is gonna do it, is it?
I don't believe jury rigging has, although it's quite a jury rigged piece of kit.
I've got industrial equipment,
Yeah, it's not really an industrial piece of equipment either.
and then the only other one that I've got then is mechanical repair.
I will allow a mechanical repair.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Because
65.
I'm sort of judging that to be knowledge of like the mechanics, and you know, probably. And this roll will determine the window that you have.
Oh god, he's just switched off the hospital.
Well, I needed 65, but I got 67. So
We suck. All of us.
so that's a point of stress, yeah.
Yes, yes, that is a point of stress. But this is a point of stress situation, although dire, may work in the party's favour. Now, while Zam's doing this, what was Blaze doing? Zam's going to stay with the. He's basically going to try and. With that fail, he's got to stay there to try and control this thing. So Zam's staying put for now.
well, I'm kind of torn. But I saw Wendy go in with him, so I'm going to stick with Zam and play lookout for him.
Split the party once again, which is what this show's all about, baby. Okay, so you can keep an eye on Zam, because Zam is focused on this thing, so he may not be completely aware of his surroundings. With that failure, though, and the reason why it could, in a twisted, dark, macabre way, be in your favour, is because the lights and the signals are going off. People are like, oh god, the tablet's not working. Things are starting to not work. It's yet another distraction for you. Now, this place is signposted, but where do you want to head? In which direction do you want to head? And I'm not going to make you roll for getting lost in a hospital. It's not. This isn't that kind of thing. Because with Mothership as well, it is a game of like players describe what will happen, and sometimes you don't have to roll. You just get to where you need to go. It's sort of like narratively, it just works. Now that you're in dock and Wendy's with you, there's a point when this party of individuals take a different turn, and you see that Wendy's with you.
Okay.
What are you looking for? And the lights flickering.
I guess I'm looking for Dr. West's office, or yeah, wherever Dr. West's most likely to be.
Okay. Are you looking for like a break room or an office or a morgue, as Zam said?
We'll check his office first.
Okay. And you find the signs, and like you can see Wendy, that Doc's like he's literally just, you're following the sign, and as they're wandering around, like the lights are flashing more, and you hear people in rooms like, you know, there's a bit of panic within this infirmary as some things are going off and then staying on. Is panic or just frustration? Do you know what I mean? Like some of the people are just like, oh, I forgot to save. Fuck's sake. That kind of, we've all been there, so we know what that means. But eventually you do find the office. There are several doctors' offices in this sort of section. You would have to use, before you get to this, you would have to use the key card.
Yep.
And boop, you get in and you can go in and you do find Dr. P. West. The door to that room. There's no windows, it's just sort of like...
I knock.
And there's a brief moment of nothing happening and the lights flickering on and off. They go off for a solid moment and then come back on again. And as they do, the door opens. Yes, what is it? Can't you see I'm having problems with it? Oh. Doctor...
Have you done the autopsy yet?
What are you doing here?
I'm trying to keep everyone honest.
Come in, quickly. And he ushers you back into the office. He shuts it. He sort of looks both ways before shutting the door. What in the blazes are you doing here, man? No, I haven't had a chance to do the autopsy yet. That's why.
Okay, then where's the body?
Well, it's in the morgue.
Okay,
We've been keeping it. Wait, just wait a moment. What are you doing?
I'm trying to make sure everyone on this planet is safe.
Why is she looking at me like that?
That's just how she looks at people.
Ooh. He didn't panic.
It's a much gentler look than she was giving to Hole Punch. So, you know.
Hole Punch. Look, this whole place is chaos. Something's just happened. We're having a problem with the...
Yes, I know.
What do you mean you know?
Tell us where we need to go. And you can just stay here.
You want to do the autopsy now?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Have you lost your minds?
Yes, we have.
This is quite possibly.
It's important.
This is a working medical facility. Do you realise I could lose my
Do
license
some medical work.
And I could lose my license.
You
Would it help
didn't
if
see us.
Wendy knocked you out?
You're threatening me as well?
No, I'm just offering to give you plausible deniability. We forced you to tell us where everything was, whatever you want to tell them. I don't care.
I understand.
I don't think you do.
I understand when someone is desperate for answers, when they've lost someone. But this isn't the way to go about it, Doctor.
I don't have time for bureaucracy. I don't really care about the rules.
You think
either.
that's what this is? There's a right way and a wrong way to do things. You're doing things the wrong way.
If it saves lives, how is it the wrong way?
Look. I told you I would do what I could. You see, he's also at odds with the things that he's seen, although he hasn't seen anything quite like you've experienced. There's an internal struggle going on. Back outside, Zam, you're having real problems with this. Could you make me another intellect? Could you give me another check? While you're doing this, Blaze, while he's doing this, Blaze, so you're looking around, you know, there's a lot of panicked people, but there is one person they were out just having a cigarette outside, and they can notice ZAM BRAZEL with a massive fucking rucksack fiddling about outside a hospital. He's occasionally sort of glancing over like. He looks like a janitor. He's dressed in a sort of janitor's uniform. Like, he's just watching. What did you get, Zam?
27.
27.
Yeah, success.
You get it right, and the lights stop flickering, and you see on the screen, Zam, ahead of you, it says attempting to reconnect, but it's just saying that it's the spinning wheel, and you're fairly certain you've shut off enough. You think, yeah, that might be it. You certainly there's a lot less screams coming from inside the hospital at the moment.
Probably glance over to the janitor and go, hell of a day, right?
Yes, it is. Are you quite all right there?
Just about, yeah. How are you doing?
I am.
And we a good time for chit chat.
I am on my break.
Yeah, you've earned it too, pal.
Enjoy your break. Come on, Zam.
I'm trying to drag Zam away from whatever the fuck he's doing.
Mad at the people, ZAM BRAZEL.
Yeah. Back in the doctor's office, the lights, but then they buzz back on again. And you see behind, like on the doctor's sort of monitoring screens, that there seems to be no visual feed going on. So it seems you would presume that Zam has managed to do what he needed to do. He switched off the right things. With a 27, that's a very good roll, Zam. So, look. If we're going to do this, at least you need to look the part. He heads over and he opens a sort of closet, pulls out 2 white coats. For your God's sake, put these on. And these masks. So you can mask up. How did you get in here anyway?
There was some fuss by the door. Someone coming in, the gas,
Was
something in one of the tunnels.
Oh God, was there
We
another,
just
another accident? Oh.
Followed it in.
How often do you have these accidents?
Occasionally. Thankfully not as much as when we first started mining here. It's and the doc he's sort of heading out and he's beginning to walk. You're walking and talking and he's sort of like making it seem like you just discussed things. This particular mining operation can be volatile. They retrieve very important materials, minerals, but there are veins of, well, it's a toxic gas, for want of a better term. And if they should hit one of these veins, if you're in contact with it, it has 2 sort of effects. It's a very powerful hallucinogen, and there are people that have the reaction to it. Sometimes are completely unaware that the gas is also highly corrosive, and we've lost a few miners to it. I can only pray that when accidents happen, they, if they are the extreme ones, they stay in that hallucinogenic state to the very end, because when they wake up from it, it's not a pleasant situation at all. So yes, as you can see, Doctor, this is hardly a mining for simple rocks in this place.
Yes. I am sorry, Doctor.
As am I, but we all do things in life that get us to where we need to be. and I'm here. Right, this way. And he heads towards the morgue. He scans himself in, and there is someone, not an administrator, but there is someone sort of working there and checking on things. Ah, Dr. West, it is good to see you. How are you? I'm well, Olaf. Thank you. Is it possible? I just need to do me and my colleagues here just need to examine one of the bodies in that room. Everything's above board, and he starts scanning in and typing in things. They don't need to sign in. A little bit of a training exercise. Oh, what is it? Autopsy. Oh. Yes, exactly. Nasty business, but needs to be done, doesn't it? Will you be wanting food? No. Just give us the room for... What do my colleagues think? 30 minutes? Hour? Tops?
No more.
No more indeed.
I concur.
Splendid. Wonderful surgeon, these two. Yes, just obviously make sure we're not disturbed, Olaf, while we're in here, because it's a messy business, and we're taking the notes, and there seems to be some communication problem there. You know, I don't want to lose. Just make sure we're left alone. Yes? Ah, yes, sir. And good man. And he heads in, and when the door shuts behind him, Jesus fucking Christ.
You're doing great, Dr. West.
You say that like you've done this sort of thing before.
No,
I've
I'm
never.
just saying that to make you feel better.
I don't think anything is making me feel better about this, but
Well, let's get it done.
we have work to do. Oh, sorry. Would either of you like a...
No, thank you.
Wendy, you pick up on that.
Best not.
Yeah.
Best not. Wendy will take a position by the door.
Yeah. Yeah,
Looking
but certainly
outward aggressively.
there's a small window, so you can stand by it and just sort of monitor.
Yeah.
And eventually, Doc West leads you to the shelf, the file where the body of Quill Oldback is stored. When the shelf is brought out and he pulls him back, you expect to see, I don't know, something a lot more horrific than what you see. You know, pain, like a look of pain or fear or anguish. It looks like someone at peace, peacefully sleeping. Well then, let's get him on this table and see what we can find out, shall we? Don't worry, Dr. Forrest. I'd already put in requests to do this anyway, so
Good.
I appreciate it.
If you'll allow me to lead.
Make a social. Make a social.
You should try dancing with him.
No, 48.
Is that a fail?
That's a fail. Does that get me a stress?
Yes. I think I'll take the lead on this one, Doctor. It's probably best that my hands are the ones getting the dirtiest, but please, any thoughts you have. And
If you insist.
Dr. Forrest and Dr. West go to work. We don't need to go into the gory details, but it's but certainly they go through all the routine of the autopsy, and Dr. West, as he's doing so, before he starts, he does make a mention that whenever he's going to record this, and every time he makes the recording, don't say anything, because he doesn't want I want to make sure that no other audio is heard. So as he's doing so, he's making the recordings, and you're going through the whole situation. Now, what... Actually, we'll cut back to... What are Zam and Blaze doing? What a dark scene this is. What a dark scene this is. What's a horror show without an autopsy scene?
I'm surprised it's taken us this long.
I know. So, Blaze, where have you tried to take...
Because we're still outside, aren't we?
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna go around the building, try and find somewhere a bit quieter, or I don't know. Are there bushes?
There are no bushes. All of this is interior. You're in like an almost like an apartment block that's part of another apartment block. It's all inside. But I'd imagine that Blaze's head is on a swivel, looking for anything, and you don't hear any more. You don't hear any security alarms going off, which is one of the main things you would be aware of. But yeah, you can, if you wanted to mill around and keep Zam out of the way.
Yeah, it's depending on how receptive Zam is to that.
Yeah. So give me a...
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna start anything, because we don't want to start a scene.
Yeah. This is Blaze, I'm going to ask you for an instinct check. Now, what's an instinct check? This is just normally when you have NPCs and stuff in Mothership, they have stats: combat, speed, and instinct. Now, instinct is almost what encompasses everything. Strength, speed, intellect. Intellect and things like that. So whenever I'm rolling for things, so that you don't have huge stat blocks, it's easy enough to sort of it's the blanket. Now, because there's nothing in terms of like perception and stuff, but I'm going to ask Blaze, in terms of keeping vigilant, what check do you want to make, and do you want to... I will allow your military training on this.
It's a +10 to... I get to pick the skill?
Yes, you can pick the skill. But sell it to me at the same time.
Well, combat, because I will be
Go on.
specifically looking for people who may be carrying weapons, carry themselves in a certain combative way.
So you're treating this instinct as combat instinct. That
I'm giving everyone an ocular pat down.
Yeah.
Everyone.
And I'm
threat assessing.
Yeah. I mean, we're thinking on the fly here, but I love that. So make the check.
So it's 55 to
Oh, Gav.
78.
78.
Wow.
Fail with stress, but it's hard to really tell. There are, there's some security walking around. The ones that are a bit more obvious. You bumped into a couple of guys in security uniforms earlier, and you do see they have the stun batons with them. I will give you this: you don't see anyone walking around with heavy machine guns or anything like that. I mean, there would be absolutely no need for it in this kind of place. This is, you would hope not. Until now, they might have to up their security. Yeah. So you're not quite sure what you see, but yeah. But you're also trying to keep an eye on Zam as well, which is its own.
Just trying to keep him hidden out of the way.
Yeah. Zam, give me one more check. This is a skill challenge, so it's the best of 3. He's got 1 success and 1 fail.
Zero.
00.
That's just 3.
3. Yeah, you keep it steady. There's a moment where it wobbles and you're like, no, right, and you twist it.
I got this.
Yeah. knowing
this
that
baby's mine.
knowing that Blaze is looking over you, you can get on with it. The autopsy. Obviously, this is a show. It might be, it would be classily shot. But Doc, what are you looking for?
Just anything. One that we didn't see on the scans when I was checking them over on the O'Brien. And two, just anything out of the ordinary, anything at all that is even mildly different to the norm.
And I would say, give me an intellect check with advantage with your surgery. And your field medicine.
Field medicine?
Yeah, field medicine. Because you're working with Dr. West on this, so you're going to get advantage on this.
Okay. With advantage, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with field medicine and surgery, I'm looking for an 83. The one set is 88. The other set is 81.
Oh,
Just! Oh. Bloody hell.
we all need new dice.
Yeah.
The stress of the situation, and also of seeing the tragic, there are moments when you realise the tragedy of this. It almost breaks you at some points, Doc. You do see that the stress of the cardiac event is there, clear, for all to see. Significant sort of the sort of, and I say this as not someone who's read a surgery, I'll just get my medical journal out. All the signs are there of a sustained and traumatic internal event. There was no internal bleeding as such. It was almost like everything just stopped. So there is scarring on the heart, because the heart, that was what happened. His heart gave in, which is surprising for he was a very fit and healthy man. That's the worrying thing. There is, on the scan of his brain, there is no previous to go from like you had with Zetterling, but that's also completely clear as well. You can only surmise that maybe if you had scanned it earlier, maybe you'd see something different. But it seems like there was a sudden attack from something, and you can't quite. Internally, his body seems healthy. Is a terrible way to put it, because he's a dead man. But the event, there's nothing to suggest there was lingering issues. You do notice there's on certain like his rib cage and stuff, there is sections of metal rods and things, but with your background, these are the sort of things that if he was in a heavy duty sport, and he had a knee brace anyway, so he had a slight reinforce on a couple of his ribs, and there's something on his spine you noticed, but there's nothing really alien about it. Yeah, there's no real. It's as the doctor, and he says it once again. It's like someone just switched him off.
There must be something here that we're not seeing. Something.
It was a significant.
Tiny?
It was a significant shock to the system. What could have done that, Doctor? I can't. I mean, this is a tragedy, unlike anything I've seen. It was just without records, and I have no idea of this man's medical background, and I'm afraid this doesn't give you the answers you seek, Doctor, but
gives us one answer at least, which I don't believe his death puts anyone else at risk.
as do I. I concur, from one colleague to another, no matter what the administrator says. I will, if you want to go and clean yourselves up, I'll sew him up, and well, I better see you out, make sure that no one else.
I'd like to be the one to sew him up, if I may, Doctor. He was a friend.
Yes, of course. And he nods and sort of steps away and starts doing some of the admin, and occasionally looking up to the door and looking to you, Wendy, to make sure that everything's okay. Yeah. And you do indeed. It's a strange moment. How is Wendy, as Wendy has observed all of this going on? I never thought I'd have to describe something like this in a tabletop role-playing game, but wow. And she's witnessed the Doctor in this. Would you say, PJ, would she recognise, I'm going to say this openly to the table, would she recognise that this sort of thing is the Doctor has done this before?
I think probably, yeah. There's a calmness to him while he's doing it. It's very smooth, quick movements. It looks like he's in his element, effectively.
And Wendy's been really trying to look out of the window, not look at what's going on behind her, but trying to look out into the other room. But every so often she's sort of turning around and she can hear them talking to each other from time to time, and they're talking in medical.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh right, okay, they're talking that language that Wendy doesn't speak.
Yeah.
And every so often she'll have a little look and be like, right, okay. But she really is.
Yeah. There's a
looking
moment,
out.
Wendy, you probably, in that moment, you think back to the time where Quill leant down to hold on to the ramp to give you the chance to go out and save ZAM BRAZEL, or him offering to sort of like out himself as a sports star to give everyone the diversion that they needed. And there were probably a few moments here and there. He was a quiet man who kept to himself, clearly a retired sportsman who was enjoying, was trying to enjoy a quiet life, and he didn't really reveal anything of his private life whatsoever. But yeah, there are certain moments that come to your mind as you just see him there at peace, until the dock is finished and it's all cleaned up and he's put away, and Dr. West is like, okay, if you follow me, I'll get you out of here. I must say, Doctor, that was stellar work. I'm going to have to. That's better stitching than I've ever done in my entire career, so I will have to do.
Thank you for your help tonight, Dr. West. You
Yes, I
have no idea how much I appreciate it.
As well you should, Doctor. Despite everything, and you're out of the room at this point, it's like, despite everything, I cannot condone the methods in which you wanted to do this. I understand, and I like you, am relieved at the results we found, what they were, in such sad circumstances. But I think it's probably best if you lay low after this. I'm going to have to take a couple of days of explaining, doing this autopsy on my own, because I was on my own, wasn't I?
Yes, you were. Though there is one more thing.
Please don't say she's going to hit me now.
No, I don't believe so. Would it be possible for you to provide me with copies of both brain scans of Mr. Zetterling?
How soon do you need them?
There is no urgency.
Well then, I believe you're not leaving immediately, are you? So, should my practice open up before you leave, come and visit me there. If not, I have your details and I will contact you.
Thank you.
Yes. It's a very strange case indeed, but I will certainly update you on your friends' progress as well. Rest assured, we are in safe hands.
I'd still like to visit them, if that's okay.
I understand, but I would give it a couple of days.
Of course.
Your diplomacy was something to be witnessed earlier, so
I've never been good at diplomacy.
That's more my thing.
And he looks at you, Wendy.
She's the ship's ambassador.
Well, you must
Something like that.
you must have quite a reputation.
Doctor,
Yes.
just to let you know, Roy settling is quite important to us all, as is Sarah, but you know, Roy's a billionaire.
Okay, we need to go, Wendy. That's...
Okay. Well, it's that's good to know, but
Be good to both of them, but you know,
well,
if you're ambitious in any way.
my ambition is just to keep the people here alive. So.
Good start.
Come on, Wendy, let's
And
leave
he
the
leads you
good
to
doctor.
he leads you to a certain point. It's like, I take it you know the way from here.
We can find it.
Good. I don't know what's going on with the. I will speak to you soon. He turns around as the lights flicker a little bit, and you head out. And there's a few people milling around, but you're still in the medical garb as you're walking out, and you manage to eventually leave the infirmary. There's anyone? There's not a stealth roll, but no one. They're all too busy dealing with something. The situation that happened earlier.
Because as we leave, I'll remove the mask and put it in a bin and just drop the lab coat on a seat.
Yeah.
Do me and Zam see them?
You would probably, there would be a point where you see them leave, and you can catch up with them again.
Look, I was trying to be nice.
I know
Like
you
by
were.
saying he's a billion. Like if the doctor wanted to get a job working for Roy, you know, he could, and then he'd get paid, he could travel, all that. Why does everybody think I'm threatening them all the time?
Do you know, it's a mystery to me, Wendy. It truly is.
And the party get on the monorail, and very quietly.
Switched off the
Yeah.
the radio jammer at
Yeah.
that point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's radio jam.
The
It's
monorail was
moving.
going to shoot it off.
Yeah. And shortly after, the Blaze, as you turn round, you see like the trash can that's just outside where the doc dropped his mask. You see it just get emptied by the janitor, you see, and he doesn't seem to have, doesn't look your way again. You know, he's just doing his
Got
job.
away with it.
Yeah.
You got away with it.
And you head back to the living complex. It is the early hours of the morning. You are all exhausted. But you head back. You're not covered in blood. Not covered in anyone else's blood.
Not yet.
Yeah.
And you head back. Are you heading straight back to your... Is there any conversation that happens on the monorail? Is there anything before you head back to your individual...
I suppose, Doc, do you tell us what you find?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have some suspicions, but I want to double check them first.
Just those three, or does this happen to anybody else?
I think it was just those three.
I
If you
mean,
can believe it, I think it might have been a good thing.
You think the Icarus is dead?
That's what I'm hoping.
Do you all venture back to your own individual...
I mean, the doc does. The adrenaline's worn off now, and he's an old man, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Zam's going to bed.
Yeah. As you
I
wander
think
past...
we'll bet.
As you,
Wendy wandered to the bar just to see if Rico's there.
Rico is there. She's sort of sat outside. Just... And it's the bar is not a hectic night. She's at the last corner. It's not a hectic night. She's sat outside just with a glass of whiskey. And she sees the rest of them leave. She's like, find what you need?
Yeah. For now. You got time for another one of those?
You buying?
I think you said you were buying.
Damn, I was hoping you wouldn't catch that. Come on then.
I tell you what. You buy me one, I'll buy you one.
I'll hold you to that. And she pops in a titanium toothpick into her mouth and heads back. And the two of them head into the bar. Doc. Everyone settles down, gets back to their... I mean, the Doc's exhausted. How are Blaze and Zam feeling? We know what Wendy's going to do. She's going to have a nightcap, have a bit of a drink.
Yeah, Zam's going to quietly rebuild his Corby trouser press.
I'm not going to kill anyone.
I don't think you're going to kill anyone.
Not to kill anyone.
You're having a well-deserved drink with another sociopath. Anyway, what is so? Yeah, Zam, you're putting together the trouser press, which is totally a canon thing now. He did use it to pry up part of it to pry open the door, if I remember correctly.
Only a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. After this particular very heavy day, what are Zam's last moments before he settles in? He obviously fixes that. He finds himself something mechanical to busy himself with.
Nah, he's trying not to think about anything. He's just trying to find that zen moment of just fixing something.
Okay.
Because he doesn't really want to think about. It's like they lost one.
Make a... This isn't going to incur stress. Make a sanity save to see how long it takes before Zam can switch off.
Sanity? Oh. No, that's a 71 against the 35.
You put this thing together, then you take it apart again. When you put it together, it takes you... After a while, you're almost like you're a machine yourself, just going through it, trying to busy yourself. So sleep does not find you easily. You just let the exhaustion set in before ZAM BRAZEL. Probably doesn't even make it to his bed. He's probably sat by his bunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, just unconscious with tools and stuff by him. Blaze KELVIN. Same question. After this day, what is Blaze doing?
Not too dissimilar to ZAM, although fewer trouser presses.
More like bench presses, am I right? Anyway, sorry.
Oh,
No, I'd imagine he'd square away
Flexing.
everything very neatly. Go back to his like military training, because I think it's dawned on him we've lost a soldier, so to speak. So he's taking a quantum of solace.
I didn't know they had a video rental place in here. Oh dear. They haven't got that. They've just got Mr. Megorium's Magical Emporium, 2 copies. Anyone who knows that reference, fair shout. Yeah. So you just same question again, Blaze. I would say make a sanity roll to see how. This won't incur stress. This is merely a mechanical, just to see how long narratively.
Ooh, 14.
14.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is a success.
Yeah. There's a sadness to it, but not an unfamiliar sadness as you go into the routine and your military mind to try and compartmentalize things so that you can get back in the headspace. It's that helps you. I mean, the exhaustion helps as well. It's been a very, very long day. But yeah, you actually,
as a Marine, you're trained to sleep.
Yeah.
Wherever.
Yeah. You've slept in. This is luxury compared to some of the places you've slept.
Oh, many a foxhole, Vince.
Yeah. Exactly. Doc. Same question to you as we finish off this traumatic day.
I think the Doc gets back to his quarters and just sits on the floor, leaning with his back against the bed. Admiral Mittens comes over and he just starts stroking her as he thinks about Quill, and then Sarah, and then he starts thinking about his wife and his daughter, and I think he just starts crying. And stroking the cat, and then just gets up and gets into bed.
As you're sat there, Doctor, and you have your moment, and then you sort of wipe your eyes. The comm unit is boop, 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 boop.
Go and answer it.
You click on and you just hear. You hear nothing at first. Sort of a rough kind of static. There's a nothing before you're almost about to sort of switch it off when you hear a voice.
Are you listening carefully, Doctor?
I'm listening.
If you care about that old woman you traveled here with, then you and your friend should take a trip to where the underground fights take place. Your Marine buddies will know where.
It's just more static.
When should I do this?
As soon as possible. When you get there, there will be instructions. I highly suggest you follow the White Rabbit. And only the 4 of you. Tell no one. If you do,
we will know, and you will never see her again. Time is ticking, Doctor. For everyone.
The fuck?
And just like that, the comms unit switches off. And that's where we're going to end this week's episode
Oh,
of
what-
Safe Space.
You prick.
Oh dear.
No, it's a rabbit.
Oh, fucking hell.
Thank you for watching, everyone. It was
No, but no. We gotta go. We gotta go.
but
Gotta follow. Said as soon as possible. That's now.
well,
That is now, Vince.
I mean, our lovely viewers and listeners will have to. We'll just have to wait, as for my players, to see what's going on Cassius Prime.
Heck.
A very intense, dramatic, traumatic, and sad episode. So I know I put the warning at the beginning. I sincerely hope you enjoyed this, and it was very dark, but wonderfully played by my players. I love you all, and it was wonderfully done. I certainly didn't expect when I started tonight that they were going to break into a hospital, but you never know what's going to happen with this game. And that's why we love playing it, and we hope you enjoy watching this as well. Who knows where the story will go from now on, but the thing we've got to do is we have to thank some of the people that help us out with this show. Thank you very much to Tabletop Audio for the background music in this show, some atmospheric stuff, and there's certain tracks that as soon as, I mean, you heard it all here, that when the track changed, PJ knew something bad was going to happen. Not bad.
Not the thing I was
Interesting.
expecting, though, so...
Yeah, no. Yeah, so Tabletop Audio, go follow them online, and with Patreon you get access to like loads of 10-minute ambient tracks and sound effects and stuff like that. It's amazing stuff, and it's not just sci-fi, it's fantasy as well, so get them for your games. Brilliant. Big thank you to ELIOT Red for the wonderful Safe Space theme. No one will ever see the dancing we do after we do the intro. Maybe one day I'll do it. Yeah. Maybe I'll keep some of the video for blackmail purposes in the future. But we definitely all dance to that, Elliot, and the theme's amazing. Now, obviously, as well, Gav, I'm not forgetting you as well for the wonderful credits and artwork for the show. Stunning every time. He gives visuals to these crazy characters that we have in this show. Speaking of the crazy characters, where can people find our lovely players online, etc.? Jim?
I'll be on Twitter, sponsored by Corby Trouser Presses. Yeah.
That's amazing. If we can get that sponsorship, that'd be great.
Yeah, that would be a unique partnership. A kind of very modern partnership for kind of maybe a more traditional brand. I think it's exciting. It's the future. Hey, trousers.
Do stealth advertising. Like,
In
say,
space,
Captain, your
no one-
trousers are really nice today.
In space, no one can hear you steam.
Oh, no.
Bye, everyone. No, God.
The end of the whole thing. Nothing can top that.
We don't need to do any more of this show. That was as
We
good as it
leaked.
gets.
There we go.
Yeah. But, Lizzie, where can I find you?
I have no idea. Twitter at Lizzie Boyle says.
Gav.
The podcast.
Oh,
And the
yes.
podcast.
Yes.
But you can
the
find that on the
podcast.
thing.
Yeah.
Ski Shoot podcast.
There are links.
In
There are links and
places where
stuff
you
down
get
here. This link,
where you
yeah.
get your podcast.
I just like making them squirm and doing their whole social media thing. Gav.
Just at Bob Goblin, Instagram, Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's out there, isn't it?
Etsy. Go to his Etsy store. There's some amazing stuff
Oh,
on there
yeah.
if you want pin
Well,
badges.
that's not
and
Bob Goblin. That's We Are Happy Clan.
Oh
We
yeah.
are happy
There you
now.
go. There you go. Yeah. And the man who had to go through quite a lot this particular week, and God bless him for it. PJ, where can they find you?
In bed. I'm tired.
Pardon? That's a different show.
Where did you get your sheets, PJ?
Hey,
They're very crisp.
Twitter at PJ Montgomery.
Egyptian cotton for the working doctor face.
Fortnightly on the JLA cast with John Locke. And go to Gav's Etsy store because I wrote one of the books on sale there. So
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
thanks, Gav.
You can find me on social media at Jester Diablo. You can find Safe Space on social media at Safe Space RPG. And if you want to get more podcasts and stuff, go to lawbreaker.podbean.com or wherever you find good podcasts. Because there'll be this show, and depending on when you hear this, there might be some other shows as well. We like rolling dice, and we don't care who knows it. So thank you.
Not tonight, we didn't.
Yeah, Dice hated us.
No, I know.
Bullshit.
I know. Now I have to be very careful with the. But no one had a critical fail. Did you notice that?
Thank
True.
fuck.
Yeah.
That's true.
But this week was a critical success in my eyes.
They all still suck.
So we will see you next time to find out what on earth is going on Cassius Prime. But wherever you are in the world, we love you very much. And just make sure you go on.
Space.
Stay face.
Stay pressed. No.
Stay pressed.
Stay safe, everyone. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.